Hey! Here we are. It's Wednesday, and that means Swami Streams going live at noon. Pretty close, too. About a minute after on my clock. How's everybody doing today? And thanks, Rich Ross says sounds good, so I think that means there's audio. I appreciate Rich, always got my back. So, what's going on, everybody? Swami Streams here for another episode on Wednesday. The world is a crazy place, and maybe it's a good thing to just write some code. Is that so wrong to, I saw people say they're not streaming, what's the point? I get it, but what's the point of not streaming? I might as well just go ahead and do this thing. Busy day today because it's Wednesday, so I'm streaming today at now, and I'll be streaming tonight at 8:30 p.m. on the Dev Talk Show with our friend Rich Ross, and we will have some fun tonight. And I think I'm gonna just get into writing some code. Seems like a good day to just write some code. So I want to finish up. I'm peeking around here. Oh, let's see. Feeling a little out of it today. I'm feeling like a little slow to think. I gotta remember, like, what am I doing? What's going on? Gotta kick the cobwebs off today, I think. Got the extra light working today. Curious to know how that looks. Don't always use this light. And so this is the light on. And this is the light off. And my camera's a little off too, I think. Let's try that a little bit. Whoop, there's my hand. Okay, yep. Bruno's hosting me. Hello, Bruno. How are you? Nice to have you here. I was just playing with the lights. I think I like the light on. It's a little bright in my face. But I don't know. If I look this way, it's probably a little bit better. So, well, we'll stick with that today. See how it goes. So let's write some code. Still working on our Visual Studio solution here. I've got it open. I've got Visual Studio here, and this is our Swami Streams website, which we usually start off by running that thing and taking a look and seeing what it does. And I think I know what I'm going to work on today, which is, I think, the last of the sort of features I need for this feature of, like, viewing the episodes online and stuff like that. At least the contents of my episode list. Let's see if it comes up slowly. And there it goes. All right, we got it up. That's good. So we've got this archive list here. So the list, we can search. I can search for, let's say, 1. Each time I search, it does take me to the search results page. This is 1. I guess that all have the word 1 in it. I can change it and say I want to look for Earth, the word Earth. I see that there. The filter seems to be working. What if I search without filter, by the way? How do I clear the filter? There's no way to clear the filter. That's odd. So that's something to look into. But what I want to do is, now that I'm logged in, is manage episodes. I don't know if edit works or delete work. I don't think delete works. I could be wrong. I don't know what edit does. Well, there you go. Edit doesn't work yet. So I think I want to... That's a one way to find out, right? It's like, edit doesn't work. So that is going to get the edit working. Let's try details. Details does show the details, but doesn't show all the details. And if I go back to the list, I don't think delete does anything at all. Right, okay. So I don't think it's going to be too hard to spin those two features up, because I don't really think they need a lot of code to do that. And so let's see if we can use some of the goodness of ASP.NET to to make that happen. Again, in this first iteration of the website, we're just using good old Razor, views and things like that. So let's take a look at our website. We've got, let's see, we'll go to the home controller, I guess. And, well, there's an episode history controller, and I honestly keep forgetting what this one has. This one has details. This one has the create, the edit. What's in the home controller? Home controller has the index, the login. Okay, good. So we're working in the episode history controller. We've got index that's going to display. We've got details that's going to display. We've got create. That works. Edit is there, but there's no view backing it. I know that because it fails. I'm just guessing that that's the case. So let's add an edit. Let's do delete first. Delete will be fun, right? So, of course, the old problem with delete is how we're going to add a confirmation message. What's that? Oh, man, it just started. I'm taking a peek out the window. It started raining. And it's coming down pretty hard. I don't know where you guys are. I'm in the Philly suburbs. Look at that. When I turn around, I just saw the back thing. We can see the back of my bald head, huh? That is my bald head in all of its glory. I hope you enjoy that. I hope you enjoy that. It's like...
Yeah, baby!
Yeah, I don't know if that was appropriate for that particular scene, but I got to play with my sound effects. So it's raining here in Philly. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that'll keep people from... Yeah, I'm going to need that light, Rich, right? It is getting dark out all of a sudden, like as the clouds roll in. So we'll see. Hopefully we won't lose any power. I did see something on my phone. I think it popped up about thunderstorms. So, all right. So I think the problem with delete is going to be putting in some kind of alert that says, confirmation. Are we sure I want to delete? But let's just play along with this for a bit. So delete. Well, actually, maybe the delete view will be that. Let's do that. That'll be good. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to add a view for delete, because if I go over here, before I do this, under views and under episode history, there's no delete view. And I think the delete view will be like the delete confirmation view. And in order to make this easy, let's see, that's odd. Is that what it usually looks like? Did they change this? I swear that looks different. Well, Razor View and Razor View Empty. I think this UI has changed since I last used it. I usually get this pop-up. Okay, this is what I want. Maybe it didn't change. Maybe I'm just forgetting. I don't know if you can hear the rain coming down. I can hear it like pattering on the back window and stuff like that. So I have a little bit of a filter on my mic, a little bit of a noise gate and things like that, but I don't think it really works that well. All right, so the delete view, and we're going to call this delete view, sure. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a delete view with a model, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the details. Well, I don't know what the delete view shows. I don't even know what this shows. Maybe delete view would be okay, but I think I want to show the details. That way we can confirm whether or not we want to delete it. So I don't know, let's just find out. What is this thing? I think it's an episode detail DTO. I don't know. Let's just try that. And I haven't done this kind of thing in a while, so I'm curious to see what it gives me as a delete view. And if I don't like it, I can always just do it. Now, every now and then, I've had this fail on me. Where this thing will just spin. And I don't know if anyone... Oh, okay, that worked pretty good. Oh, yeah, this is exactly what I want. Look at that. Are you sure you want to delete this? And it is going to display the data. Wow, that is perfect. And then this will be the submit. Will take me to the actual delete. Oh, that is perfect. That is perfect. Now, what's interesting is it doesn't pass the ID back in here. And the form. There's nothing in this form. So I'm not sure how it's going to know which to delete, but we'll come back to that. Because these values are not inside the form. That seems wrong. But anyway, if we go back to the controller, I don't know if you sense it, I'm in a mellow mood today. I'm in a Bob Ross kind of mood today. Let's see what the controller looks like. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just curious, in the edit view, edit doesn't work yet. I thought edit worked. Create takes an add episode. All right, well, I think this is gonna work okay. So we've got the delete. The delete is going to return the view, but of course there's no data for this view. So what I need to do is something like this. Details. I really want the details, so I'm gonna just sort of rip that off. And this is one of the things I like about MVC when it ASP.NET, MVC, and all this kind of, what happened? Well, I didn't make this async and stuff like that. It's probably said about that. But I like that I can just sort of generate these views and sort of, things work pretty nicely. Now, you don't get all of that, partial page refresh with that. But on a website like this, I think that's okay, because I'm really the only one who's coming in here and making these changes anyway, right? So this is a good example. I'm speaking at an architecture conference on Friday, and I'm really excited about that. As a matter of fact, I can post a link into that. Let me do that while I'm talking. But this is one of those decisions that we have to make from time to time, right? And I would like this to be, I like Angular, as a matter of fact, right? I'm a fan of Angular or other SPA frameworks. And in those SPA frameworks, the pages refresh themselves in small pieces, and it performs really nicely. It's a good user experience. But this is the conference, by the way. If you're interested, I'll put the link in here. This is the cool online software architecture conference. But one of the things that I like to point out with this, like this decision I'm making right here, is this isn't a bad experience, I don't think, for this particular use case. Now, if I'm building some more complex UI and I want to have things work, from the UI all asynchronously and only refresh parts of the page, well, I might do it differently. In this simple, kind of scenario, I think this is a fair enough user experience. Now, if I'm right about that, this will work. Now, what I don't know what's going to happen is when this thing, well, I don't have the delete logic, and I get that. And it does take an ID from a form collection in this delete method, but I don't see that ID getting passed back. Unless I'm wrong, I don't see that value of the ID getting passed back in here. Well, let's see what happens anyway, because I'm kind of curious. Again, I'm in a very Bob Ross mood. I wish I had I don't know what a sound effect would be for Bob Ross. Maybe like birds tweeting. That would be cool. That would be a cool sound effect. Ooh, I like that idea. I'm going to write that down. Sounds birds tweeting. Even if it's raining out. Little nature sounds would be fine for my mood today. And if you're getting tired of listening to me act like an idiot right now, I get it. That's fine. Come and go as you please. I'm just hanging out writing some code. That's the kind of day it is. So, well, let's see. What should happen here is I should be able to sort of steal that. I mean, that's not what we want to do, but I just grab that code here. And I want to call, let's see if I have a delete method. I don't have a delete method in here, so I need one. But before we do, let's just see if this works as expected. So I'm going to run this again. When I click the delete, it should come to here. It should get the data, and it should display it. And let's just take a look. And of course, it goes to the wrong monitor. We'll bring that over here. So if anybody's working on anything interesting and wants to tell us about that, I'm always interested to hear. Okay, here we go. So here's that index page. No big deal. And let's say I want to delete this one. So I click delete. Brings me back to here. And it passes ID 3. It should get that one, which has the item, which has like 2 and blank. That sounds about right, even though the details was 2. I don't know why that was that. And it's going to return this view. And look at that. Now, interestingly enough, the details view doesn't have all the fields I want to delete. It doesn't show the tags and the air date and stuff like that. So I'll add some of that value to it. But this is kind of what I want, a nice little confirmation. And if I click delete here, it's going to bring me back here, but I can't imagine. Oh, how does it know that? How does it know that ID? Oh, wow. Rich Ross is telling me they lost power and in Norristown, and my lights I just heard some sounds. It's getting nasty out there. We could lose power here soon. And if we lose power, well, let's hope that doesn't happen. I'll respond back to him. Wow, bummer. I don't know. It's getting weird out here. But I'd like to find out how it got this ID. Now the ID, am I missing something here? Because the form that's going back is this form that has a submit button. It has a value of delete. But I thought that the values such as this needed to be inside of the form. I am very surprised. Very surprised. If anyone on stream knows how that works, I'd like to hear about that. I'm, generally familiar with this stuff. Maybe it's because it's the same value that was passed in. Oh man, here comes the thunder. Here comes the boom. You guys hear that? I feel like, oh, look at this. The wind is blowing. My outdoor lights came on. That's how dark it is outside. If you can see that out the window here. It looks kind of light through the camera, honestly, but I can see my outdoor lights came on. I'm going to close this so the wind doesn't blow around so much. That is looking nasty. So, surprisingly this worked. And because this worked, this delete method, once I add it in here, it should be just fine. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going with that. And so this did what I wanted to do. I'm going to have to update the UI here a little bit. And I don't have a delete. So I'm going to go over to my orchestrator. Because the way this code is written, it's generally pretty easy to add things like this. And I'm pretty happy with that. So in my orchestrator, which is what does all the fun logic for me, get episode details, blah, 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 get history. There's no delete in here. So what should delete look like? Well, let's throw it in here. We'll do public async task. I don't know if it needs to, I guess it should return a result object. I want to return a result, which will have any kind of messages if we need to do that. I think that's correct. I'm going to say delete episode. And I'm going to pass in the ID. Oops, the ID. And now, well, what do I need to do? I need to check to see if it exists. That would probably be the first thing to do, instead of just trying to delete it. Because then I can return a nice message. And I see this code below, so I'm just going to grab this. And that's fine. Let's say result is new, result. I'm a little distracted by this sound effects in the background here. Wind is ripping. So I'll do that just to satisfy some of the little squigglies I was getting in there. And, wow, nasty outside. So what I could do here is say something like, if item is null, result. I see somebody coming. Hi.
Look out the window, the hammock is like flying.
Look out the window, the hammock is flying?
Yeah, the
Full cover came off? Oh, man.
And the hammock is like...
Well, where's the hammock? All right, I am live streaming, by the way, but it's okay.
Sorry.
My wife and my daughter came in. No, I was telling the stream. It's like crazy outside.
My hammock is...
The hammock's really blowing? Why is
it? It's like getting stuck in the wood. Should I go out there?
Sure. What do you mean stuck in the wood?
It's like flying on an angle.
Okay. It probably won't break, but you can pull the hammock in.
I don't know if I'll blow away.
Oh, you're not going to blow away. All right. My wife is concerned that some things are blowing away outside. My friend Rich says they lost power, by the way, just to let you know. This is the behind the scenes. We don't usually break the wall here and go and talk to people. Do not come over here. Stay over there.
There are people living in this house.
Yeah, there's people living in this house. So, a little chaos. Well, listen, the name of the stream, Swami Streams, Coding, Fun, and a Bit of Chaos. Usually the chaos is related to the code I'm writing, the stream not working properly, technology. Today, the chaos is the storm outside. So what I might want to do is say result success equals false, and say something like, oh, you know what, let's do it like this. And I might want to say result success is false, and then I'll say result dot messages add new string. So I'll say something like item can't be deleted since it does not exist. Now that's sort of unlikely to happen because I'm starting with a list of my known objects, but let's try that. I feel like that's a thorough way to do this. And otherwise I'm going to say episode data service. Do I have a delete in there? I don't have a delete in the data service yet. So I can pop in there, and I'm just going to go to this one and pop into this one. And here I can see my data service does not have a delete method. So I can say public void delete. And I'm going to delete it by my repository. I think deletes by IDs, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll say int ID. Let's find out here for a second. I'll say episode repository dot. Oh, there isn't even a delete in here? No, I didn't need it. I'm building things as I need them. Let's take a look. I'm kind of surprised that doesn't happen. I don't even know where I put my repository. Is it in here? It's in here. So my repository, oh, look at that. It doesn't even support delete yet. So, usually I work with generic repositories that are like sort of pre-built and ready to do everything. But in this particular thing, I didn't. So that's okay. So let's do public void delete. And we'll do int ID, because I think I can do, well, I don't know, let's take a look. So here's my context, and I can say episodes dot delete remove, what is it? Remove. And it takes the episode. That's interesting. It takes the whole episode. So why don't I just change this to an episode, because I have it, right? I'll say episode. Let's just pass that into there. Okay, so I'm going to remove it. I could have called it remove here, but I tend to think of it as a delete. So I'm going to call it a delete, even though down here it's a remove. And I have to add that to my interface. So let's put that up there now. Now you'll notice this is not asynchronous, but neither is my add. And that's because the unit of work pattern sort of handles the asynchronous part for me. All right, so this is not asynchronous. This is just going to go right here. And if I go up to my data service, I now have access to delete, except I took an ID. So let's just pass the whole episode in there. Because I have it, I think this is the easiest way to do it. I could find out I'm wrong, because I haven't put a ton of thought into this. Let's do this. I'm going to have to come back and do something similar for the update stuff as well. So here's my delete in my data service. I'm kind of going up the stack here. And when I go to here, I'm going to say episode data service dot delete, and I'm going to pass in the episode, which is item. I don't know why I called it item. We can name that episode. Seems to make a little more sense, right? Even though it's a simple change like that, item doesn't give us a lot of insight, right? And if someone comes in here later and wants to take a quick look at it, sure, it's not really hard to discern. It says get episode async, but why not call it episode? So now I've deleted the episode, and I'm taking the result. Now this delete, so here, I guess we're going to assume that we're successful. So let's say result.success equals true, and return it. I don't need to put a message in there, and that's fine. And that's my orchestrator. And if I go back to my controller here, oh wait, I didn't add it to my interface here. So let's grab this thing and go up to my interface. And yes, I do put them in the same class. I think in this case, there's not much reason not to, but there's a lot of ways to do this stuff. Let's get rid of that. And there you go. Now, what I didn't do, this is not right. Delete episode. Oh no, that's right. But my delete episode won't actually delete anything because I didn't tell the unit of work. Didn't tell the unit of work to do anything. The unit of work is where we commit the changes, and we want to say save all async. And I'm not going to have a cancellation token, and of course I need to await that. Okay, and so I thought I don't need a cancellation token. I thought that was a nullable. What did I do in add? Oh, look at that. I did pass one. I guess I didn't make it nullable yet. All right, because you don't need a cancellation token all the time. We'll throw one in there for now. And let's see if that works. Delete. It looks pretty good. So I'll compile it. Make sure it compiles. My tests, are my tests not running? Well, no, my tests are running, but there are no tests on this method. But I don't know if I broke any tests. I'd have to look at the live unit testing. Didn't break any tests, so that's a good sign. Although I wouldn't have thought I would. I wouldn't have thought I would have in this case. So I'm gonna now, let's just go back to this controller, and it comes to here, it should delete it. Oh no, I have to tell it to delete. And I'm gonna say R result equals await episode history orchestrator dot delete episode, and it takes an ID. Now, does this not take an ID? Await? Oh, yeah, well, I didn't make it asynchronous. Okay. Async task. Kind of standard stuff here to throw in async and tasks on things. So, now, here it says return to the action. But it's possible that that won't be what I want to do. So what I really want to do is say if result dot success, I want to return to this action. Else, return view. Well, I don't have the, so why don't I just do this? Oh, this is where things get tricky when you want to return error messages. So this thing takes an ID. This view here takes an ID, and it's not expecting any error messages. So for now, we're just going to do it like this and see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't recall how that works. Let's try it. Hopefully my delete is going to be successful, and then we'll take a look at error conditions. Because I do need a way to pass those messages back to tell the user, well, no, it didn't actually get deleted, if I'm being thorough. It sounds like the rain is letting up a little. Oh, yeah, that's a mess. Let's check in the weather. It's hard to tell. The screen is so saturated with rain that I can't even tell what's going on out there. But that's life. Okay. So we're going to go to manage episodes. We're going to delete this one with the word 2 in it, which is episode 3. Don't know why. Doesn't matter. I'm going to click delete. It's going to take me to this thing. Display the episode. Are you sure you want to delete this? I'm going to delete this thing, get rid of that out of there. That's okay. Let's say delete. Before we do, I don't know if I put a breakpoint in here. I like to step through code, even though I think it's going to work. Let's hit the delete button. Here we are. We've got the ID. I'm going to step in. We're going to get the episode, and we were successful. So that's good. Now we're going to call delete. That appears to have worked, so we'll say success is true. We're going to come back, and episode 3 is gone. The episode with ID 3 and had that word 2 in there is gone. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now the error condition is where things get tricky. Now I think I handled this already when I did the add episode, because here I do this thing. Sorry, that's the orchestrator. Let's look at the controller. And in the controller for adding episodes, or create, at least it's called here, the add episode DTO gets passed to the view. The add episode DTO, okay, is fine. So how did I deal with, I thought I dealt with error messages in here. Oh, but it doesn't seem like I did, does it? So if it fails in that case, well, I have an exception handler, but that doesn't really help for everything, because I might have some messages getting returned. So I need to think about how I want to do that. One way to do that is to take well, let's work on the delete. Okay, so let's say that I want to have my delete view take more than this item. I want it to take a delete there's a lot of ways I could do this. I don't have like a specific object. That's a select result. I could build a little helper. So what if I go to my result objects? I kind of go here, even though it's a little different than these standard result objects. But what if I call it like some kind of, I'm just winging it here, like a, you could argue that that wouldn't go in that project. So what if I did this? Okay, what if I go to my ASP.NET project, and in here under models, oh, I have an error view model. What's that? Did that come by default? I don't even know what that is. I'm not going to use that. That came by default. I'm going to add a new class in here and see how this works. I'm going to call this a UI result, for lack of a better term. This is going to be something that a UI would, how about like a UI action, like, because it's, I want to say this is for UIs that do things, not that just display things, but do things. So we want to say this is like a UI, I'll just call it action result. Even I don't like action result because that's already a word that's used. A UI, what do I want to call it? Naming is hard. I don't know if you feel that way too. Naming is hard. Oops. Naming is hard. I'm thinking here. What if I call it like a I could call it like a message. How about a UI info VM? Because it's kind of like a little view model. I could take out the UI out of it. Call it like an info VM. I think that's kind of cool. .cs. And the whole point is, you'll see this in a second, that this is going to be a generic, right? Okay, and then what it's going to have is it's going to have prop. Let's call it prop T, and it's going to be called the, I usually use the word entity, right? The entity we're acting on. Okay, and it's going to have a list of messages. And I'm just going to make it a simple list of strings for now. List string. This is a simple way to deal with this. We'll just call this messages. Okay, and I've got other ways I do this in other projects that are much more robust. But I'm just thinking this through for the needs we have today. Let's get rid of that. So if I did that, so you'll see what I'm thinking here. What if this delete model, instead of being based on that, was based on info VM of type, oh, what was that thing? Let's do it this way. Go away. I got these things over here. Info VM of episode detail. Okay. So we do that, and then this is going to break this whole thing, which is fine. We're going to say model dot entity. Whoop. And I'll just pop this into all these. Okay, so I still have my entity that I want to view the data for, but now what I can do is I can put a little list on the top, and let's just say, I don't know, I'll just do it here for now and see how it looks. So I'm going to put a div in here, and say for each, there's probably better ways to do this, I know. For each for m in all dot messages. All right, and let's just put in like a, I'm terrible with UI, so forgive me. I'm just going to put in a little div. I'm going to say class equals, what is it? It's called, what's it called? Alert, error, warning, sure, let's do that. And here I'll put M. And I think that'll do, if I'm not mistaken, although it doesn't like that. Oh, okay, let's see if I can, because I took away the fully qualified thing. Oh, it's not going to help me out with any help? That's fine. Episode, this is going to be coming from Swami streams backend.dto. Okay, fine. Sorry if I offended that thing, right? So now I'll get these warnings back, and I'll get my data. And if I look at my controller, and I go to delete here, we're going to have a problem. Because this, I think it's supposed to be smart enough to know that this isn't correct, although it didn't argue with me. But that's all right. It would fail. So what I need to do now here is I'm going to say we want to create a var VM. I'll call it the VM, right? Equals new. And I'm going to call this info VM of type episode detail DTO. And I'm going to say VM dot entity equals this. And you know what? I can just take this part. Now what I want to do, so this is delete, we're getting the data. Yeah, this is right. I'm going to get this thing, stick this over here. Await, right, because the entity is not the whole thing, but it is the result. No, not the result. It is the what is this thing? Oh my gosh. It is a episode delete. Where am I? This thing's an ID. All right, wait, I'm getting confused in my own code here. Delete says, all right, this is the delete information. So delete is going to return, should be, maybe it is called result. Result is, no, that's not what I want. Let's do this. Temp equals that, and then here I'm going to say VM dot entity equals temp dot item. Yeah, why wasn't I seeing an item there? I don't know, but it's okay. So I've got the item, and that's going to be fine. And now I'm going to pass in VM into here. That should work. Okay, but now when we come back over here, we're going to do something similar where we're going to say if it else, we're going to say I'm going to have to do a second step here where we're going to get the episode, but now what we want to do is we want to include the messages from up here, right? So let's just say VM dot messages. Oh, the lights are flickering a little bit. Equals result dot messages. Kind of throwing this thing together, but I think that makes sense. So I've got this VM. I feel like I could do this cleaner by doing this, and then something like that, and this is going to be the episode. Let's go back to calling this thing the episode, and let's pass that episode result. Okay, and so I think it's kind of making sense. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's find out. And I'm going to force it to fail, even though this isn't the best way to do this. I got to get unit tests going on here. So this is turning out to be a little more complicated than I thought, but I probably don't need all this error messaging stuff. It's really just for me, but if you're going to do it right, don't you think? So let's look at this one called for blank. I'm going to go delete. When I come into here, I'm going to create my info VM. I'm going to get that item, and I'm going to set it to that. It should. Oh, wow. Oh, well, see, messages is null. Okay, that makes sense. I did not initialize that property, which I should have. So let's just throw a constructor in here. And say messages equals new, just a string. That will satisfy that problem because that's important. All right, that was lazy, and unit tests would have proven that out too, by the way. Oh my, oh my. Here we go again. Come on. Manage episodes. Delete this one. This should work. We're coming to here. Great. We've got to delete. There's no messages because there shouldn't be. When I click delete, well, this isn't really going to do anything. But here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I want to do as a trick. I'm going to change this episode ID. And I'm going to say ID equals 44, which does not exist. 44. Okay. Now when we go in here, We should try to get the episode. Oh, look at that. What happened there? Why did that happen? Unhandled exception and delete. So I must have a mistake in my logic for getting an episode by ID. Get episode. It says all single. Oh, look at that. And isn't this the beauty? Now I was going by single, and this may be the right choice to make here. Maybe I want it to throw an exception because it doesn't exist and I'm passing in an ID. But if I said single or default, I probably didn't think of this scenario where I want it to return a null if the episode doesn't exist. Let's do that. So here we go. We're going to try it again. I don't know if that breaks any tests, but we'll find out because I'm changing existing code there on the get episode thing. Okay, we're gonna do, oh, this is the one that shows me the confirmation, right? Confirmation. Say fine. I say delete. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to change this to be 44. What is that? It looks like about 4. Whatever, it doesn't matter, but I just want to make sure it's right. Okay, and I'm going to go into that. And now episode is null. I'm going to get false success. I'm going to find a message. I'm going to come back up to here. Oh, look at that. I forgot to put a return statement in here. Yeah. Oh, the joy of, again, if I'd written unit tests, this would have solved my problem. But I'm going to say right here, return. I feel like I'm in too deep to go start writing unit tests. Now I got to see this thing through. I will add the unit test. Whoa, chair is rocking and rolling. I will add the unit test. By the way, I'm getting a new chair. You hear this? You could probably hear this squeaking. This chair of mine makes a lot of noise, and now you won't unhear that. Now you're going to hear that chair squeaking. I am getting a new chair. I think it's coming Thursday. I got the chair from Autonomous, I think it's called. It's called Autonomous something chair. I forget. I don't know, but it's supposed to be very comfy. We'll find out. On next week's episode, I will have information about the chair. Delete. Yes, I don't know why I have this breakpoint here anymore. I don't need it. Okay, confirm. Delete. Change the ID to 44. All right. Oh, it didn't change. Sometimes it does that if you don't sort of like settle it right. There we go. I'm going to go in. Now that episode is null. I'm going to return my result. And now I got ISK status is, oh wait, is this what I wanted it to do? Yeah, okay, down to here. Now, I have the message in here in result. That's cool, right? But what I don't have is, if I want to go back to this view needs a better, thing. So I'm going to get the episode again. Oh, well, I can't find 44 because 44 doesn't exist. I mean, it's possible I put myself into a situation that really just doesn't make sense. Because how would I be able to display the data if it didn't exist? But I'd like to find out if this works. So I'm going to try one more time. Yes, I understand you're failing. I'm going to try one more time and sort of really cheat here a little bit, even though I'm building up a scenario that really doesn't make sense. This is episode 4. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change this to be 44. Okay. I'm going to get my result now, which is unsuccessful, but now I'm going to change this back to a 4, which is cheating. I get it. But let's do that. And now I have the episode result. And I just want to see if this did what I think it's going to do. And isn't that perfect? Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Well, I set messages in the constructor. Model is null. Okay, well, obviously not doing well, very well, because I didn't pass in the VM into here. Oh, see, I mean, I just have to be more careful than that. This one's going to get into trouble too. I recognize that. But let's not worry about that right now. So, lazy coding, sloppy. It's a rainy day. I'm in that kind of mood. And I feel like saying, like, you know,
throw me a frickin' bone here.
You know, it's just not going super great. It's not so bad either, really. This is just normal day in the life of a developer, right? So here we go. We're going to change it to 44. We're going to fail. We're going to come down here. We're going to change it to 4. And we're going to do that. And we're going to go into this thing. And that's all I really wanted to see. Oh, M. The message is M. Well, that's not correct. But it worked. And I don't think that color on this looks like much of a warning error thing, right? So, that's odd. But what did I put up here? Oh, I put M. Well, there you go. I did not put at M. And that makes a little bit more sense. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. One more time? I need a sound effect for like one more time, like 10th time's a charm kind of thing. Come in here. We go to manage episodes. We say delete. And this is why you want to have unit tests, because you don't want to have to do these things over and over and over again. It's kind of a pain in the neck. I'm going to say delete. Change this to 44. Okay. 44 comes down to here. I change this again to 4. Let it rip. It says can't be delete. Well, so that's just me spelling something wrong. So I like that. I don't love the color, which is no big deal. That's info, alert, warning. What else do I have? Alert. Alert, warning. Alert, danger. Wait, what did I have in there? I had alert, warning. Let's go to alert, danger. Danger, Will Robinson. And I'm not going to come back and check that yet. So, this kind of works. It's kind of a crazy scenario, but there could be another reason why we're not allowing something to be deleted. So I don't know. I put myself into a very strange circumstance there. And I might just leave it like that for now, because it's kind of good. We've got the alert, we've got the message, we've got some error handling. What do I want to do next? What do I feel like doing? I feel like I could write unit tests around this. I'm kind of tired. And it's just about 1 o'clock. It's a little early, but I think I'm going to call it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this delete functionality works but needs testing. I am going to commit this. I'm not going to push it because I don't want to push it until I have the tests written. So I think next week's going to be, hey, Kev, what is up? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I am having a Bob Ross kind of day, Kev, if you know what I'm talking about there. I'm just in a real mellow, like chill kind of mood. I added a feature to the site. I got the delete thing working with some warning messages. And I don't know. I definitely can't go for another hour or two because I got to get back to the day job. Got to get back to paying the bills and the day job. That's one of the reasons why I limit this thing to an hour. So, Kevin, maybe we'll see you tonight on the Dev Talk Show, 8:30 p.m. Wednesdays. What is this day job? Well, yeah. So I'm not an independent consultant like yourself. You own your own business and you're make the call. I have a nice employer, and they're pretty cool about me doing this kind of stuff. But do need to get back to that. Yeah, so it'd be great to see you at the Dev Talk Show tonight. The Dev Talk Show tonight, Rich Ross and myself will be there. Chris, again, will be out tonight. I think he'll be back with us next week. Tonight's topic, I'm pretty sure, is going to be static websites. The new static websites feature that they added to Azure, which is integrated with GitHub repos and things like that. And we're going to probably play around with that if we don't change our minds. We want to see how easy it is to do compared to the static website we've built previously. We did static websites on the show where you did it a different technique. So we want to check that out. And last, as a reminder, in the chat, I posted this before, but I'll post it again. Let's see, how do I copy this thing? Copy link. Last of all, Friday, I will be part of the Software Architecture Conference that's run by C# Corner. Of course, C# Corner is a great website that I think everybody's familiar with for tutorials and lessons and articles about writing C#. And they're putting on a little software architecture conference on Friday, which should be fun. You can sign up for that, and it's free. You can come and see myself and a bunch of other architects talking about software architecture. In the meantime, to everybody that's out there, thanks for coming by and spending a rainy, stormy day. We didn't lose power, so that's a win. We did have some chaos. We had things blowing around the backyard. And the family came in to tell me about that, and that was kind of fun. Next time, maybe I'll bring them on camera and everybody can say hi. In the meantime, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to wrap it up. Goodbye to everyone, our friends that were on there, Bruno, Rich, Kevin, everybody else that was watching that, I'm forgetting about if you said something or whatever, but, appreciate you guys being here. And that's it. I will see you soon.